Dale Matthews, badcounty.com. Welcome back to the show, Dale. So you had an interesting, I guess, should I just play? You want me to just play? Okay, I'll play the minute or so of County Commissioner Keith Heck with a little descriptor of county workers. I hope this comes out okay.
Picture of having it. Correct.
Oh, here we go. Direct. Let me back this up. I was watching it for my own amusement earlier.
What role did the internal services, did that play in this discussion of this internal IT?
IT is part of the internal service fund, yes.
No, but I mean as far as, I'm not trying to demean anything, but the lesser services that are those little moles that sneak around and...
that IT provides, just the standard support type work that they do.
And is that all incorporated under this picture of having a
correct
IT director?
Correct.
That was interesting.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to be demeaning, but I'm going to be demeaning here. Those county workers, those little moles. Uh-huh.
These are county workers. So I came to the next public meeting of the Board of Commissioners where citizens are allowed to speak, and I kept it real simple. Mr. Heck, you describe county workers doing lesser services as little moles that sneak around. Please explain yourself.
What do you have to say?
Because I had not left him any other thing to talk about, just that. Why would calling people moles as county workers be demeaning at all? And they sneak around, and they do lesser services. Lesser than whom?
Well,
where does this grandiose image of yourself as a public servant, by the way, come from?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes maybe it's just better if he just stopped saying so much. I don't know.
This is what Simon Hare said to me afterwards. He said, it'd be better if he just not talk.
Well, does this really affect policy, though?
Now this is where it comes in, because now the question is, how do a regular human being would say, oh, did I say that? Oh, my gosh, I'm sorry. No, never mind.
The thing is, and there's another part of me here, Dale. Here it is. I'm always fighting against the politically correct monster. All right?
Okay.
In which we're always going to be, should I micro-examine what I'm going to say here, or should I just let something fly? And the thing is, a good vigorous discourse is okay, and sometimes people can make mistakes when you end up... But
I think of them as little moles that sneak around. Sneaking around, really? Not to perform quietly, not to do an unsung services. They sneak around.
Okay, so it's just it's a poor choice of words.
It's a human thing to do is say, I don't mean that kind of thing, and I just misspoke. And just like when I called Dale Matthews a lying maggot for posting my earlier comments 100% correctly, that wasn't a lie. It was exactly what he said. And when he read I transcribed what he said underneath on the video. And when he read that back, he said, this says Keith Heck doesn't believe in the Constitution. That's not what it said. It had his quote. Okay, so reactions. Cheryl Walker, when she heard this, she said, and she's up for recall, she's going to be on the ballot, and the recall ballot. She said, well, I agreed that they are moles. What?
Moles?
Yeah, moles. They're moles.
Okay, so in other words, Keith Heck talks about county workers, the IT people, as kind of moles, and Cheryl agrees?
Agrees with him.
Boy, talk about a self-inflicted verbal gunshot.
Just a little bit, right? well, but and they perform quietly. Yeah. Do you think there's a message there for me? Yeah. They perform quietly. They stay quiet. They're very quiet,
Well, I'll tell you what then. Why don't you gather up some county workers in Josephine County and have them put on little mole masks for a day, like a mole mask worker day over at Josephine County. What do you say?
Well, he said that he was then going to look at the video. He said he needs to look at the video. So he did, I guess. The next day, he issues from his office, from his commissioner's office, to all department heads. One, Dale Matthews is trying to destroy our wonderful society, something like that. And number two is, this videotape, and you've seen the videotape because I sent it to you, has been highly edited.
No, it wasn't.
What?
I could tell it's a very smooth continual ribbon in there. There's no cuts or clips.
Highly edited. What's the matter with you? Don't you see that? But this explains what he didn't say.
Okay,
that.
so basically we have another county. The county official is caught misspeaking and is just preferring to shoot the messenger who he called a maggot earlier in the year anyway.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well,
I have a real simple job. All I have to do is point a camera at them, and then they take it away.
And then you post it on badcounty.com. Isn't that great?
Then they say, that wasn't me. I never said that. That's obviously a mole mask that I'm wearing. I didn't say those words. He said 5 words, little moles that sneak around. And so where would I edit those 5 words? In between little and moles? In between moles?
No, let's just settle it right now. Commissioner Heck, all due respect, that was not an edited videotape. It was not. You misspoke. Fall on your sword. Get done with it. And then if you want to, you can call Dale the maggot again, I suppose, if that would make him feel better. Because, frankly, I don't think you care. Do you?
Not by now, I don't.
Uh-huh.
Look who I'm up against. Liars and cheaters.
Okay. Now, when it comes to county policy, though,
yes,
let's take it away. I mean, certainly you can focus on the personal verbal habits of county commissioners.
Yeah.
No one's perfect here, and certainly people who run for public office aren't perfect either, because we're all human then. Is the county itself being run properly in spite of these flaws?
Here's to me, I understand there's a lot of people hopping mad, they already are, about saying such things about county workers. That's not the problem to me. I'm sorry, it's just not the problem. Mm-hmm. The problem is the opportunity then afterwards to try to explain or cover up. And here's the point at which the first thing to be wheeled out is the big lie. Oh, well, this has been highly edited. No, it hasn't. And that's where they usually go.
So this is a corrosive. In other words, it's not really transparent. You'll shine the light on them. There's a lack of transparency because what immediately happens when something wrong is pointed out, the first thing we do is just shoot the messenger, call him a maggot. That's what we do.
Lie.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember the 300 because you talked about effect on the county, the 300 outstanding cases that were clogging up the court, which is why we had to have the 4 ordinances that were shot down by the county residents, because there were a bunch of reasons.
Because there were a whole bunch of nuisance and county code violations that were clogging the courts, and it only up being a handful, from what I recall.
Yeah, it was only, by extrapolation, only 6, because we investigated one of the 3 years and only found 2. And so if you are fair about it and say, okay, if that's one of the 3 years, cost us $500 to do this research.
Because you actually had to go by the records. They made you pay for the records.
So every one of them. So here's the answer to that.
All right.
Cheryl Walker recently said, I never said there were 300. What? See, that's their first thing that they do is lie. Now, a normal human being would say, oh, man.
Now, I'm trying to figure out, if they know that you have the videotape, why do they then lie out there in open session? Do they just figure that nobody's going to go look?
I don't know.
Now, see, that's what doesn't make sense to me, because you do catch them in lies.
I do.
But it's okay. You can be caught in misspeaking. You can say, oh, I guess maybe I did say that, and just move on. All right.
The stem of this is the willingness to lie, just to cover up. And the other is a kind of you think maybe an imperial attitude about stuff. This is why I look like a tiny bug, and these guys look like little moles.
No. It's not. It's not bug. It's maggot. Maggot.
Yes.
Yeah. Lying maggot, by the way.
And Simon Hare had referred to us and trying to get them to obey the law as gnats in the room. Gnats. Mm-hmm. See, we're so beneath them.
I didn't realize you had such large insect infestations in county government, but apparently we do. And we have that, and you also have, what would they call a vermin with the moles, right?
Oh, and as Cheryl Walker had said about the ordinances, obviously the people who oppose these ordinances, 80% oppose them. They're obviously, kind of in favor of the infestation of rats.
Uh-huh.
Really?
No. Moles. That's what we have with county workers.
Well, we're all these lesser beings. We perform lesser services.
Well,
really?
Yeah, it's not a good choice of words. I'll give you that.
No, but it betrays an attitude, which is my point.
And that is why you turn the cameras on them and you put the videos up on badcounty.com, and it makes it such a great site.
They will not recognize this as any kind of media with 133,000 views, because, as one of them pointed out to me, he says, if you're going to just be on top of us for everything we do, you're never going to be recognized as media.
So apparently what they're claiming then is that if you're going to be recognized as media in Josephine County, you just push their propaganda.
What happened to the reporter that was in the room from the Courier and this story?
Yeah, nothing happened. All right.
Absolutely nothing.
All right, Dale, out of time for the hour. Appreciate you bringing us our attention to this issue here. It's, once again, badcounty.com. And
come and see it for yourself.
Hundreds of videos, and he just puts it up there. And by the way, you're going to get some help in here and start videotaping everything with Jackson County, too?
You know, I really want to. Yes, we are playing all of your meetings live. Then we replay them, and we grab up the video, and then I sit for endless hours watching them talk and try to pick out stories. I've done only 2 of them so far. I'm sorry, we're trying to get going.
That's okay. You're a better man than me in this respect. All right, thank you for the call. All right, Dale?
Thank you, sir.
All right, be well. Badcounty.com. FM 106.7 KMED. This is the Bill Meyer Show.